All right, so recently Ari Shaffir was on Howie Mandel's podcast, and at one point Howie brings up antisemitism and tries to have this serious discussion about it. And he definitely figured since Ari's also Jewish, then he'd just be agreeing with everything he's saying. But he brought this up to the wrong Jew because Ari just makes him look like a fool and shuts him down right away and just starts making jokes about it and basically tells Howie to go touch grass, which leaves Howie stunned. You know, you can't believe Ari's response here. And at one point he says he doesn't believe him because Ari said he's never dealt with anti-Semitism and he's never been in fear of being attacked or insulted for being Jewish, which I believe. You know, Ari doesn't seem like the kind of person that's walking around all scared of that, especially when he says it doesn't even exist and he's never noticed it. And, you know, I'd imagine in terms of why somebody would hate him or want to attack him, I think he's probably more worried about a Kobe Bryant fan than an anti-Semite. So it was a bad idea for Howie to bring this stuff up to him, you know, because I feel like also if you're familiar with Ari Shaffir, you would know he's not going to be the kind of person that is taking this stuff seriously. Like right away, he starts making jokes about it, which how could you expect him not to? But of course, Howie is all confused. He's like, are you being serious?
You know, like we were just saying, there were three Jews sitting here. Have you felt the, are you feeling
What? The fucking, we're back.
The love?
We're back. Center of attention again. I love it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We were a joke before. Now we're taken seriously. Who else wants some? Who else wants some?
You seeing the positive in this?
Yeah, dude, we're fucking.
He likes attention.
Yeah, we're back. Before we were just some like joke, like I remember the tribe, like little light things. Now people take us seriously.
Seriously?
Go ahead, keep pushing the students. See when we push back.
It's horrible.
It's not horrible. It doesn't happen. It's statistically irrelevant. It should be on the news too much. None of it's really happening.
Are you
I've
fucking
been all
kidding
over
me?
the country. I've seen no actual anti-Semitism. Have you? You look Jewish. You
Yeah.
walked around, people yelled Jew at you or something.
I don't go out.
Yeah, good point.
I don't go out.
I yelled Jew at him this morning.
Yeah.
No.
I did.
I think it's real.
No one
I
I
think we
know
got to
is-
take it seriously. I think what you're saying is wrong.
No, it's being on the news. Are you familiar with the what's that app that tells you all the robberies in your neighborhood?
Citizen
app.
Yeah.
So before this app, everybody was having a great time in their neighborhood. And then suddenly all these housewives are like, there's a robbery every 20 minutes. I can't believe everything's going to shit. They're just aware of it suddenly, the small percentages. It's a little bit in colleges you don't go to. It's not there. It's statistically irrelevant. I go all over the country. I've never seen any anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and Ari Shaffir travels the world. You know, he's on the road doing comedy all the time, and he's hated by a lot of people, not for being Jewish, but for being Ari Shaffir. So you would expect him, you know, if this is everywhere, you would expect him to deal with it quite often, but he claims he's never dealt with it. Meanwhile, Howie, who never leaves his house, acts like he's dealing with it all the time, just because he sits on the internet all day trying to find examples of it and people complaining about it. Like, he's going out of his way to look for it, basically, and he'd probably say so he's aware of what's going on in the world, but he never leaves his house, so why does it matter? And if he did leave his house, he wouldn't spend as much time paying attention to it and worrying about it, and he'd realize it doesn't exist anywhere near as much as he thinks it does. And that's what Ari tries to tell him here, how he's like, oh no, you're wrong about this, you're really wrong. And Ari's like, dude, just shut the laptop and go outside.
Are you on a college campus?
No, I'm not.
Go over to USC today.
Ugh, I'm not on a college campus. Nobody I know is.
Students are.
They're just dumb.
No, you're wrong. Oh, you're really wrong. You're really wrong.
Bro, if you shut the laptop, you'll never see it. You'll never know it exists.
Oh, I believe that you can hide from it. I believe that you can be
Out in the world, never seeing a single thing. It's just a Citizen app. It's just another Citizen app thing.
And it's so funny, Howie, the one who's in his house all day, too paranoid to leave, is acting like Ari's hiding from it by going outside and being in the world and interacting with all kinds of different people. And I think almost every comment on this video was roasting Howie. Like, I couldn't find a single one that was agreeing with him or defending him, you know, because Howie just sounds so out of touch here, being like, oh, I don't go out, but closing your laptop is hiding from the problem. Or I don't go out, but it's a real problem out there. And somebody else said Howie so desperately wants to be a victim, but Ari wouldn't let him.
There's no anti-Semitism. There's no racism.
It's statistically irrelevant. It's like getting a set over a set. It doesn't. It's not something that's even. It's less than 0.1%.
We're less than 1.1% of the population. Jews.
I thought we're 2. No.
Yeah, we are. We are 2%.
Yeah.
But I think that
it's not. It's
we're
just,
hated.
Sure, by some, I guess, deep in the where they don't see us.
Do you still have friends in Israel? That's a no. If you have to think that long,
Maybe.
Yeah,
You
my
don't-
rabbi still lives there.
do you talk to him?
I haven't in a bit, no. But you know,
I would imagine how he would feel if you said that in front of him.
what? There's no anti-Semitism?
Yeah.
My sisters are Orthodox Jews. They're like, it's everywhere. I'm like, I'm not seeing it. They're like, do you see this anti-Semitism? I'm like, no. Everyone's trying to look for it. It's just so lame. Everyone's trying to look for they've been victimized more than anybody. It's like, shut up.
Do you
it's
feel
fine.
like that's what
You don't
this
think we
is right
have?
now?
Are you a Holocaust denier?
It's been a while. Yeah, the Holocaust is real, but like walking around, it's like, what are we talking about? But I mean, like, is the stuff actually out there? Like, no, it's just the Citizen. It's a version of the Citizen app online. People are looking for like, it's terrible right now. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. My friends from England was like, they can arrest you now if you say the wrong thing, if you attack the government. I'm like, has that happened though? Has anyone been arrested in comedy? They're like, well, no. I'm like, well, then what are you talking about? You can get arrested. You can get arrested for jaywalking in New York. It doesn't happen. It's not a real thing.
And you could tell Ari gets so sick of hearing about this stuff, especially because people expect him to say something just because he's Jewish. But like he says, he's always going to make light of the situation. Like, people shouldn't want him talking about this. And that's what I was saying in the beginning about how even bringing this up to him. Like, he should have known Ari was not going to be on the same page. But he definitely didn't expect this response from him. And here's when Howie says that he doesn't believe Ari isn't paranoid about being Jewish, which even Howie's daughter calls him out and basically says he sounds ridiculous. She's like, not everybody has to be as paranoid as you.
And the reality is, anti-Semitism is alive and well, is growing, is warming up, is sending us on a path to...
Yeah, it's another Holocaust. Sure. And fucking George Bush was fucking just like Hitler, and Trump was just like Hitler. It's just like I've heard these things so many times. It's like, all right, already. It's not happening.
Is it more maddening that people ask you about this because you're Jewish? Because of who you are?
Constantly I'm like, you must see this. You got to weigh in on this. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I don't put myself into like horrible places.
Are people expecting you to like...
To weigh in?
You
Oh
weigh
my
in,
God,
okay.
yeah. And I'm like, you guys don't want my response. I'm going to make light of it. I'm going to make light of it. The whole thing. That's
You're going to
what I
make
do.
light of it?
Yeah.
Because you're a comedian.
Because I think you shouldn't get, and that's my stance, is you shouldn't get involved in all this negative shit. So I'm going to make light of it.
Is that a defense?
No, it's what I do. I make jokes. I make light.
But I got to tell you that as a Jew, it is a little scary. And I can't believe that you as a Jew, I don't believe you, that you can keep it out of mind. I would imagine as...
Why? Why don't you believe his reality that he's telling you? Why does he have to feel
You
the
have
same
no
way?
thought if you land in world, wherever you are.
Like Iran or something, or Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's always like travel advisories are like, is it safe for Americans? And then is it safe for Jews?
Right.
Yeah, that's in certain areas for sure, where you got to like worry about that a little more. But London is not one of those places. You can just walk right past the rallies. It doesn't really matter. No one's gonna break into your fucking hotel room and try to kill you for being Jewish. Yeah, in Iran, I'm like, what? How bad are they right now? By the way, Iran, not bad for Jews. They just don't like Zionism. They're actually great for Jews.
Great for Jews?
Yeah, they love Jews. They have a long history of Jewish culture there. They just don't like Zionism.
Okay.
So it's not really a problem to go to Iran. Even that.
Have you been?
No, but I've traveled there, friends.
You don't think there's places in America that you'd be concerned?
No, I don't think about it. It's not.
You don't have to think about it. Your face
I mean, this
says
one,
it.
I have family. Yeah, exactly. So I would have seen it then. So I go out. I travel all the time for work. I'm all over this country. My face is, hey, there's a Jew. You think I would have heard one thing in real life? I'm telling you, I'm out there testing it. It's not there. It's just online. You just got to shut that laptop and walk outside. Everything's pretty fucking great. Oh, it's so hard to be a white guy right now. No, it's not. It's fucking great. Oh, it's so hard to be everywhere I go. Black people want to get killed by cops. No, that's not true. Almost nobody gets actually that happen. It's just like everyone's online getting riled up. The world is great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's bad when Ari Shaffir is the voice of reason, but he makes a lot of good points, and Howie just sounds ridiculous. I mean, at the end there, he's pretty much helping prove Ari's point. Like when Ari said he doesn't even think about it, and Howie's like, well, you don't have to think about it. Your face says it, basically saying that everybody knows he's Jewish. So everywhere he goes, people know that, and he travels all over the place, and he says he's never once dealt with anti-Semitism. So Howie did a terrible job here of trying to convince people that it's this serious problem, and Ari somehow is the one that's hiding from it because he's not staring at the news all day. So this really backfired for Howie. And speaking of him, if you remember, I made some videos about him recently. He actually responded to them. And if you want to hear about that, I talked about it on my Patreon. And I also just talked about the time Tim Dillon humbled Whitney Cummings. And on my most recent video, I talked about David Lucas and how his shtick of being an edgy and controversial comedian is starting to backfire for him because he's too scared of getting canceled. So if you want to hear about that, make sure you check out my Patreon account. I'll put a link in the description.